Welcome sports fans, I'm your host Joe Meyer.
I'm Rush.
And this is This or That Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the most interesting and riveting sports discussions, topics and debates on the whole entire internet.
Yes people, but before we get into the video, before you tell us all of the good opinions that you have, subscribe to our channel right now. We are going to some time. Like the video. Yeah, let's kick it off. Yeah, so in this video we'll be talking about our core 23 players that we want to see going forward.
This is a very interesting one. I've given it so much thought.
Yeah, the Jamaica men's national team. So the team that we want to see for the Nations League, the Gold Cup, and for the next World Cup qualifying campaign.
And the Gold Cup again.
And the Gold Cup again.
World Cup.
Yeah. So the 23 that we want to see, and you know some honorable mentions. Yeah, so let's start out with the goalkeepers. So who are the 3 goalkeepers I think we should commit to right now for the next 4 tournaments?
The next 4 years, as I said, Nations League,
2 Gold Cup and the World Cup.
Yeah. The goalkeeping position is a very fickle one. You know, I think, contrary to what my big brother Ryan would say, you know, because Ryan has been outraged about the inclusion of Andre Blake going forward. I think Andre Blake is our best goalkeeper, and he will be next year and the year after that. And the year after that.
The next 4 years, yeah. I don't think another Jamaican player would be better than Andre Blake.
Who we see in the reins, I guess we have Jaden White, who is a youngster. He recently signed with a USL club, so he's out of here. Amal Knight is still, you know, late 20s. Amal Knight will be around, and there's Dylan Barnes,
mid-20s. Yeah.
Right. So going forward, even though I don't think the future lies with Jaden White. But I think until we see another young option, I'd have to continuously bring Jaden White because he's the.
So who's the 3 that who do you drop from this current 3 or who do you add?
The goalkeepers that should be in and around the squad is Andre Blake will be our number 1, and reluctantly, in my opinion, I think he'll still be the captain of the team. Dylan Barnes should be our 2nd string goalkeeper, and I think the 3rd string goalkeeper, I have Amal Knight, who I think is the 3rd best keeper, and I'm torn between Jaden White, who is our youngest stud right now.
Yeah, you know, during these 4 years, people will be in and out, injuries, transfers to clubs, a lot of things will come up. Yeah. And, you know, Jaden White on the fridges, I agree with that. Amal Knight, I think, should be a part of this.
At the end of the day, in the 98 World Cup, Donovan Ricketts was there. He was 19 years old. And then in the latter campaigns, in the end of the 2010s, Andre Blake was there as an 18-year-old and 19-year-old. So we
need that. We always need that youngster to build, you know, build some experience.
As you see, Donovan Ricketts made the transition to become the number 1 and then the captain. And then Andre Blake made the transition to become the number 1 and the captain. So I think it's always good to have a young goalkeeper in the wings. I don't think Jaden White is the one. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe that 3rd keeper might be playing in the Manning Cup right now.
Yeah.
You know,
so I agree with those 3. Amal Knight, Dylan Barnes, Andre Blake. On the fringes of the goalkeeper spot, I have Dylan Barnes, yes. And I'm always open to that. Jaden White, sorry. I'm always open to that 1 youngster. Or that 2 youngster. Yeah.
Please.
That will be ready to grab that spot. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe in the next 2 years we'll see somebody from the Manning Cup, somebody from the JPL, you know, just pop up and just be better than Jaden White or any of the other guys. But yeah, the defender spot now, who do you kick out? Who do you include? We have 8 defenders, 4 central defenders, 2 right backs, 2 left backs. 8.
And then again, that's a basic way to look at it. But fine, I'll go with your 8.
Yeah.
Based on the standard.
But you can use one that can, in your 4, you can have one that can play the right or the left. You know. For example, Mariappa can cover as a right back. And he's a centre back. So you can flip it around.
It depends on the system. It depends on the system we're going to use going forward. But I think right now the defenders that we have going forward, Greg Lee, right now, it's hard. It's hard because Kamal Lawrence is still in his 20s.
You're not for say who start.
I know, but then again, like you want youth. You want something to bring.
How old is Greg Lee again?
Greg Lee is 27. Kamal is 29. So they're both, you get me? There aren't 2 young guys. I don't see a young left back right now that I can hat on.
If you're good enough, you're young enough, you know, right? As a wise man would say, you know, if Greg Lee is still bobbing up and down the field at 32 years old, then he's young enough. You know, so
I think right now, based on what I can see, I think I have to go with Greg Lee, and would you say Amar Bell or Kemar Lawrence? Like, I don't think I'm ready to depart from Kemar Lawrence, one of our leaders.
Kemar Lawrence, remember Kemar Lawrence came out and said that he would retire now.
Oh yeah. Kemar Lawrence did say this was his last World Cup campaign.
Yes, I think we are going to move on from Kemar Lawrence.
He did say that.
Was that the transition that we saw? Was that the transition we saw in the last window?
From Greg Lee to Kemar Lawrence, maybe.
In the first game, Greg Lee came on for him. Then the second game, Taxi never started. Taxi started the second game, and then in Costa Rica, Greg Lee. Maybe that's the transition we're seeing.
Well,
maybe he's done.
You know, I'm curious to see how Kemar Lawrence performs domestically. I think Kemar Lawrence still has a lot of football left in him, but he did say this was going to be his last.
So you say Amari Bell?
Amar Bell, you know, I think Amar Bell is really good. He's done well for Jamaica, and he hasn't gotten a call up back, but I still think Amar Bell is very good. He's done very well for Jamaica. So the central defenders now.
Hold on, man. I could remember do my right back them and they will cover the centre backs together. So the right back position at Javian Brown is my number one. In the backup spot, you know, a lot of people would be ready to move on from Alva Spoil, but I'm not quite ready to move on from Alva Spoil. I want to see him in the Nations League first. I want to give him another 5 games. I want to see a fit Alva Spoil first of all. You know, I want to see Alva Spoil getting game time in his domestic competition and see how he looks, because he's not an old man.
I somewhat disagree with you. You know why? Because we are still working on the likes of Ben Johnson or Max Aarons, and there's still also Wes Harding.
Yeah, but that's working on, you know.
And those guys, Aarons 22, Johnson 22, Wes Harding 25, right? Chaffee and Brown 23 or 22. Yeah, so I think we move forward with a young core of wing backs. You know, Alva Spoil has to work really hard.
Based on what I saw from Alva Spoil in the last 8 games, ready to move on. But I think that was an injured Alva Spoil. It was. Alva Spoil couldn't play 90 minutes. I want to see a fit Alva Spoil.
We managed to land the likes of
Max and then no competition.
Yeah.
No, so if we get, but that's working on. And speaking of what we have. Because we can then say if we land Ivan Toney, then we don't need whoever. No. What we have?
Who would Ivan Toney dispossess from?
What do you mean? All of them manage them, Javan East and Andre Gray.
Yeah, those guys wouldn't have been in the.
When we get there. When we get there. But if we get better options, obviously Max Irons and Ben Johnson, then Alva Spoil, you get displaced.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But for now, I'm going to think more Alva still in our next 5 games for Jamaica. And the centre backs. My 4 centre backs I rock with is Damian Lowe, Ethan Pinnock, Richard King. I would have for the next 4 years. I would not, if it was up to me, I'd not make a 23 and not a Richard King going forward.
That will never happen.
I don't want to sign a 23 without Richard King. Richard King is the one for the future, I tell you. You good brother.
I'll go as far as say if we're playing a back 3, Richard King
should be starting. So it's Richard King, Ethan Pinnock,
Damian Lowe. So good on the right side of the back 3. It was outrageous.
Yeah. And for now, I am going Mariappa
still
instead of Liam Moore.
And that's
but that has a lot to do with his now, as I said, sentiment. So his experience one. He's still a very good defender. So I don't think Liam Moore offers more in a 23-man squad than Mariappa. Especially if none of them are going to play.
Yeah, I think Damian Lowe and Ethan Pinnock are my 2 stalwarts at the back going forward. I do think both of them have another campaign in them. I truly do believe it that Damian Lowe will.
Man, you know what went under the radar this campaign? Ethan Pinnock.
Yeah.
Ethan Pinnock was solid, bro. You know, the Panama game earlier in the campaign was awful. But these 3 games from Ethan Pinnock, brilliant.
But then again, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. But Ethan Pinnock has been very good. I think Damian Lowe, solid Jamaican player, Jamaican defender, I think still on the up and up. And I think Ethan Pinnock and Damian Lowe are 2 leaders from the back going forward. I truly do believe that. People might give me flack for Damian Lowe, which I just don't understand because Damian Lowe is constantly a good player for Jamaica.
And Damian Lowe, he's not a walking red card. Damian Lowe is not
That's a terrible take.
Yeah, I don't think Damian Lowe is yes, he can be harsh sometimes, but Damian Lowe does not pick up a lot of red cards. Damian Lowe does not get himself off the field a lot.
Would you say Sergio Ramos is an all-time legendary historic defender?
Yes, he is.
Without a doubt.
Yes, he is.
And Sergio Ramos is way more rash than Damian Lowe ever has been. So Sergio Ramos makes, as a defender, especially as the type of defender that Damian Lowe is, he inspires fear, and he's very
the hard tackler.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a hard tackler. And I love it. I love to see it. I love Damien Lowe. I love how Damien Lowe play football. So yeah.
I think Damien Lowe and Ethan Pinnock are still our two best defenders. I truly do believe that. I think had Damien Lowe been born in England, he'd have been playing in the championship like Liam Moore, like the rest of them. I truly believe that.
But yeah, and the centre backs though, that Richard King guy should not finish this JPL season in Jamaica.
Well, that's not up to.
I'm talking about his quality.
Yeah.
It's not up to him, obviously it's up to his agent and the networking, but quality, that guy should be at least in the MLS right now. That's just how I feel about it.
He was outstanding.
He did not look out of place in that game that we saw.
Not for a second.
But yeah, midfielders, this is where it gets kind of, where we have.
Alright, as I said, going forward in this pool, we have to move on from some, like Anthony Grant. I don't think we need to call back.
Maybe
Anthony
for the
Grant
Nations
again.
League? No.
What,
34?
Yeah, Anthony Grant. I wouldn't call up Anthony Grant again.
But thanks for the service though.
Good run.
Yeah.
Kevin Stewart.
27.
Yeah,
I'd have Kevin Stewart.
Yeah.
I'd have Kevin Stewart.
Going forward in the midfield, Lamar Walker, I think still shows glimpses that he has quality and potential. So I would keep Lamar Walker around.
I would say I like Lamar Walker better in the midfield than on the wings. I've seen him have good games on the wing and in the midfield, but I prefer him in the midfield. He's a little bit lightweight. The midfield kind of bigger than him, but in terms of his touches and everything, I feel like I like him better in the middle of the park. Just improve a little bit more in the next 2 years. I feel like he should be taking another step up, and that is the player that I would like. Right now, Lamar Walker on the ready feet. But in the next 2 years, I feel like he could be.
Well, yeah, I think he has a potential. In the next 2 years, he'll be still in his early 20s. What do you think about the Daniel Johnson and Ravel Marsh? Do we retain them going forward?
You have a take on this, and I'd like you to say some more on it, and I agree. We have to pick one. I've heard you say it before, and I feel like we can't carry two of them next trip. I feel like we need to make way for, say, a Peter Lee Vassler, one of the other youngsters coming up. Because 4 years is a lot of time, For the Nations League, alright. But moving forward, going into 2023, I don't want to carry Daniel Johnson and Ravel Morrison. We need to pick one. And based on how they perform in the next Nations League campaign, that is the spot that's up for grabs right now. What do you feel?
As I said, Peter Lee Vassler came on and he did look assured.
I like Peter Lee Vassler.
Give a good shift.
Could get better. You can see that it's a little bit ahead of him. Even with Lamar Walker too, when they get the ball, they want a little bit more time than they have.
Yeah.
You can see it, but I still see quality in Peter Lee Vassler. I like his touches. I like that his head is always up. Some little things that real football people will look at a player and say they like that about him. Obviously, the quality is not there yet at, say, a Europe level or whatever. He could play in, say, some of the lesser leagues in Europe, but Peter Lee Vassler can get better. And I feel like he would walk right into one of those Ravel Morrison, Daniel Johnson spots.
And there we have Tariq McGee.
Tariq McGee. Where has Tariq McGee disappeared to?
Yeah, well, I guess that's just based down to coach's decision. But I do think Tariq McGee going forward might have a bigger impact in this program, more than the likes of, as you said, the DJs and the Ravels.
We can pick one. I feel like I agree with you on that one. I think we can pick one. One player that we are leaving out. Some people may call it a snub. Devon Williams. I'll just say it right now. I don't want to see Devon Williams for the next couple of campaigns. I don't want to see Nations League. Alright, they don't want to change the team too much. Fine, but I don't want to see him for the...
People will give you a lot of flack for that.
Why?
Devon Williams is a Jamaican sweetheart. But I just do believe that the quality, like as I said, Kevin Stewart, right?
Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. Alright, 23, okay. But I don't think Devon Williams should be the starting, play 90 minutes every game midfielder for Jamaica.
I think Devon Williams can still be retained. But as I said, Devon Williams is up in age. So
if another youngster come and is the same level, or even a little bit below Devon Williams, I'd go with the youngster.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be sad to see the back of Devon Williams.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a big loss. Yeah, but I think there are players that the JFF needs to be targeting harder than ever before, right?
Isaac Hayden.
Players. If we can manage to get Isaac Hayden to come to Jamaica, bro, that would be huge. But it has to be right now. Isaac Hayden cannot be jumping on the campaign in 2020.
No, if Isaac Hayden is not ready to come into Jamaica in 2022, at the end.
Yeah.
And he wants to go to 2023, I don't want to see Isaac in anymore.
Simple as that.
And you know, he mentioned that he's waiting for his England call up and Jamaica will always be there. I'm not so sure. I will not always be there calling for Isaac Hayden. So, yeah.
Last chance, Isaac.
This is it. Wingers. Let's talk about the wingers. Right now we have Junior Fleming, Lamar Walker plays on the wing sometimes, Bobby Reed. Yeah, Liam Bailey. Yeah, we are including that.
Well, as I said,
3-4.
Liam Bailey, Demar Gray,
Bobby Reed.
Those are going to be our winners going forward, right? I think Bobby Reed still has a spot in the squad going forward. Bobby Reed is on the top of his game domestically, and I do think Bobby Reed still has more to offer. So I would still contemplate keeping Bobby Reed, right? And then there are players that I would start to push more if they can prove themselves worthy. But I would put them in a 23 here and there. So you know, the likes of Atkinson and Beckford and Chang, who just went away, I would have those guys rotate their spot in and around 23 and constantly come
similar to what we see from Peter Lee Vassell and Tariq Magee right now.
Yeah.
Where they're in and out, but they're around it. They know what's going on. So that when they're ready, they're 25. They know exactly what they should do in a program.
Yeah.
Right. So
I have those guys cycling too.
No Junior Fleming?
And yeah, Junior Fleming, I would keep Junior Fleming.
In and around it?
Yeah. Or on the fringe, I don't think Junior Fleming should be a sure guy in or 23. No, and going forward. Because he's not even better than the young players.
Jamal Lowe?
Jamal Lowe.
No? You don't want him?
Jamal Lowe is 29 years old, and I just don't think Jamal Lowe has the quality to
push out.
Yeah, because Demar Gray, Leon Bailey, and I'd still have, you know, the youngsters over Jamal Lowe in these competitions.
And people are going to beat it for that, you know,
because I
because
wouldn't necessarily go back for Jamal Lowe.
They're going to beat it, because they're going to say right now Jamal Lowe better than Fleming, Jamal Lowe better than some of the men that we're calling.
Yeah, but
Lamar Walkers and so.
While we have to be thinking about winning the Nations League and thinking about the Gold Cup, we do have to think about the qualifying for the World Cup in 2026.
We're trying to build right now.
Jamal Lowe, and as much as we spoke to Andre Gray and he said he's committed, Andre Gray, I don't think I would waste an over 30 spot on Andre Gray going forward, because that spot solely belongs to Michael Antonio. Michael Antonio has to remain
unless he falls off.
Unless he falls off and then he just gets trapped.
Yeah.
But Michael Antonio has to be one of the leaders going forward. And I think we build this team around Shamar Nicholson.
But hold on now. So the forwards that we currently have, Corey Burke, Javan East, Michael Antonio, Andre Gray, Shamar Nicholson.
I think going forward, if we're picking 2 or 3, I think going forward it has to be Michael Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, and a young player. Dujan Richards.
Alright, so guys, you would have seen that in this video we are always leaving a 1, 2, 3 spot for some young players that we'll be making. Because if we're trying to plan for the next 4 years, we can't use now and close off our eyes to any of the developing players. So I think we have 3 solid spots.
Yes, so it has to be a group of core players from this campaign, and I would say those players are Blakey, Pinnock, Lowe, Michael Antonio, one of either Bobby Reed or Ravel Morrison. Kevin Stewart is a new guy, and then obviously you have Liam Bailey and Demar Gray, who will be the pivot of the team. So Liam Bailey, Demar Gray and Shamar Nicholson, that's our top 3 for the next World Cup. You know, you hope to see it. And then we'll build around those guys.
Yeah.
But I think the senior players, we don't need 12, 29-year-olds on the team right now. Yeah. I just don't think that's
and that's a solid, young and experienced team.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, Ethan Pinnock and Damian Lowe will be in their 30s. Andre Blake will be already in his 30s. Michael Antonio will be in his 30s. Kevin Stewart would be in his 30s.
Yeah.
So that's the experience. Liam Bailey will still be in his prime. Yeah. You know, when you look at 27, that's where your prime should be 28. Junior Fleming should be in his prime. Javian Brown should be in his prime. So that's what I like to see. When you look at the average age of a team, when you see a 27, when you look at the average age, you average out the 21s with the 30 and the 25s and 27s. If the average age is 27, I feel like that's the right number when you have most of the players on your team in their prime. And I feel like if we go forward with this core, this 30-man, 25, 23-man core, I feel like we have something building special. What I saw in that first half, you know, I know Jamaica can play football. I know Jamaica can put the ball on the ground.
To be fair, Costa Rica really didn't apply any pressure.
They sat off. And also Peru did sit off in the first half that we saw. But I kind of saw what Paul was trying to do. We had a lot of the ball, we didn't penetrate, we didn't create much shots, and we were saying it, you know, on the sidelines. Why do we have this much of the ball but it's not resulting in any shots and they get a shot at goal? Right? So, yeah, this is the squad that we have. Tell us in the comment section, guys, what about the squad do you disagree with? What do you agree with? And yeah, tell us some players that we're leaving out. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of names that we didn't call.
There's some names that we didn't call, I'm sure.
And some Turgots and some. There are a lot of names that we didn't call. So tell us. It's all about our opinion, guys, and we all want the best for Jamaica. So 2026, USA, Mexico, Canada. Here we come.
We have no choice.
Tell them.
But as I say, guys, that was it. You know, we just have a little discussion. You know, we'll pass around some ideas. So you give us your ideas. And before I go, guys, if each one of our subscribers can get us 5 subscribers, guys, do you know how many subscribers that will get us by the end of the day? So, like, share, subscribe, and then share again, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, this was This Side That Sports TV.
And we're out.